So some of us listen to music, sometimes podcasts. How about answering a few questions? Time for some Q&A. Hey, good morning. Getting up in the dark with you again to train for Goofy's Race and a Half Challenge. And it's week 11 for me, training for the big race. Week 19 if you're following the Run Disney training plan. We are just 8 weeks out until Walt Disney World Marathon weekend. I mean, we're in the single digits. I'm doing this video on the last training day of the week. I've got a long run to put in. I know I said that I was only going to be doing a maintenance week, but Coach Karen and I are working on recovery time because it's taken me a long time to recover from those long runs, and you really want to recover within about 24 hours. But if you've been doing the training plan from Run Disney, you're in week 19, so your recovery should be moving along pretty quickly. You've got 20 miles to put in, so we're going to be running together, and you did 8.5 miles for the challenge, a walk. On Saturday, I put in about a 10K. I also did not have a doctor's appointment this week to check on my broken foot. That's coming up in just a couple of days, so that will be in the next video. Instead, I'm going to have some time as the sun's coming up to actually answer a few questions. The first one, while we're still a little bit in the dark, is about my LED lighting from Phil and Steven. Phil wanted to know why I keep trying to use these clip lights for my shoes. He says I must have a high tolerance for frustration. No, I just want them to work. They were $40. I got them at a Star Wars Expo, the Health and Fitness Expo a couple of years ago. They keep falling off my shoes. Maybe they work better on running shoes other than Asics. And these, Steven, are from Amazon. These slap bands come in all kinds of different colors. I got them for $8 a piece. I'll put a link in the description box below. I don't monetize the videos, so it's not an affiliate link. I'm not making anything. They're really cool though. You can get all kinds of colors, and you can even find 2-packs. There's plenty of people selling these all over Amazon. Hey, I've got to get moving. I've got a few questions to answer and a lot of time to do it in. Also a lot of miles to put in.
3, 2, 1. Workout started.
Tell me why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be. Without you, baby, want you all night long, want you all night long. Tell me.
Hey, crazy. The cool thing about the time change, I was trying to wrap things up, get out the door. I mean, it was 6 a.m. morning, and the sun comes up like that. Gotta love it. So I'm going to talk a little bit about running in the dark. Mike says he hates running in the dark. It's one of his big fears he's trying to conquer. And hey, this time of year, you really don't have to worry about it much, and it's cooler. But if you do have a fear of running in the dark, you can do what I do. Try to stick to areas that are well lit, like a shopping center. I don't drive because of my vision problems. I'm not allowed to. But if you can drive and you're not close to a shopping area, just go to a shopping area. Or even better yet, schedule your run with a buddy. You can also make sure somebody knows where you are at all times by using an app. A lot of apps have a tracking feature. I use Road ID. It's this bracelet, this identification wristband I got. They have a free app. I'll put a link down below. And when you launch it, you can put somebody's phone number in, they get a text message, and they can track what you're doing. I've got to get moving. We're almost 10 minutes into this. It'll be done before you know it. So this is Runner's IT. Got it on the iTunes, the App Store, Apple. 99 cents for full functionality. Lets you select virtually any run walk interval that you can think of. For this run, I think we're going to look at about a 50-second, 1 minute. Talk about that app in a second. Random Barry wanted to know about the apps that I use. You've already seen Road ID and Runner IT from the iTunes store. I also use Endomondo, which is owned by Under Armour, and I use Digifit, Fit Digits, and that used to be called iCardio. Both are paid apps. You can download them for free, but for full functionality, there goes Runner IT with a walk timer. Full functionality usually costs a little bit more now. Everybody wants a subscription. I use the Fit Digits, the iCardio, because it's colorful, it's easy for me to see and read, and I like the audio coaching. And Endomondo is interesting. I use that one, and I pay $30 a year for it because I've been using it for years, and it can crunch all of the data. It adds in temperature and weather conditions, so you can see what was happening on the day you ran, and it allows you to use Relive, which is that really cool app that lets you draw your course and drop in some photos along the way while you're running. So those are the apps. Look for the links. Okay, sunglasses, and a question from Ashley, who is training for Princess, which I'll be doing also. She says she's doing the 10K and following that 10K training plan, and thinks that the plan isn't getting her to the miles soon enough, that you're not going to hit 6 miles till late in that plan. Initially, I said, hey, go ahead. If you feel comfortable putting in a little extra distance, do it. But then somebody got in and said, no, follow the plan. And I would agree with them now after talking to my coach. Following the plan is not just about the distance. It's about increasing your cardiovascular level. Remember, these are long distance runs. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And you need to build a base fitness level before you get to 6 miles. And if you push it too soon, you can actually hurt yourself. I did that the first time out of the gate, training for my first ever half marathon at Disney. Thought I could do a 10K distance sooner than I could, and I pulled a groin muscle. So follow the plan. Good morning. Hey, Life's Good to Me had a really good question about balancing indoor training on a treadmill with outdoor running. I think they're training for a Princess also, and you have to weigh my answer because I do most of my running outdoors. I live in Florida, so I can do that. You know, I know not all of you are as lucky as me. You actually have cold weather you have to deal with, or maybe really hot like in Australia right now, so that treadmill comes in handy. I would tell you, I've always had this thing in my head that I want to see the physical miles on my app. And hey, we're training for races that are outside. If you're going to use that indoor equipment, make sure that you're matching that intensity level. Don't always trust the number that you see on the screen. So if you know what your heart rate gets to while you're running outdoors for say 3 miles and it takes you 45 minutes, you may want to make sure you do 45 minutes instead of what the treadmill is telling you. Hope that helps. Hi, puppy. I don't think the dog likes my answer.
Why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long.
run timer and another time check coming up in just a moment.
15 miles. Pace 11:02. Average pace 12:29. Time 3 hours 7 minutes and 21 seconds.
Some yippee coaches out there. You guys are so quiet. Hey, look who joined me for the end of the run. Coach Darla and Coach Spanky. That was a tough run for me. Not for the comfort level, but visually, I really struggled. You know, I had a couple of notes for the questions, and I just can't read them. I had to stop and use the magnifier. And for all of that run, for most of it, I didn't have cellular on the phone. We got a new router, and I had turned it off yesterday. So I get so frustrated. I had a meltdown after this run. I just wish I could look down at the phone and do things like a normal person. It's got to take a deep breath and move on. Hey, it was a good run. I got 15 miles in. Final questions from Lawrence and Sylvain. Mon ami Sylvain, who lives up in Canada. Qui parle français. Corrects my French all the time. Lawrence wants to know if I ever run for fun, run a race for fun, if I'm going to run a race for a personal best or a PR. How many miles a week I run walk. Sylvain wants to know if I'm going to do any non-Disney races. And hey, Lawrence, yes, I run every race for fun. I'm fortunate that the runDisney races are my local races. I put all of my effort into training so I can actually have fun and carry the camera and do my thing and enjoy what I'm doing. I do need to run some races without the camera for a personal best and a PR. And hey, I put in a lot of miles over the past 2 weeks. Run walk 52 miles, so I'm getting it done. Sylvain, yes, I'm going to start aging out of some of this racing, so I think I'm going to put some of the runDisney races aside. I'm going to keep doing them, but maybe not as many over the next 2 years. And I have entered for the Chicago Marathon. I've entered for New York City. Didn't get that 50 for 50 drawing they were just doing, but I have rolled that over into the regular drawing. And I'm looking at some other races, Berlin, London, maybe the Rock and Roll Series. I think they're fun and they're all over the world. There's a lot of cool ones here in the United States, like in Vegas and New Orleans, Denver. So yeah, there's a lot of great races out there, and I'm going to start looking at some of them. Hope I got all the answers out there. Hey, a lot coming up in the next week. It's going to be a maintenance week, and I really need the break. Plus, going to the doctor to check out this foot. I think I'm doing pretty good. 52 miles in 2 weeks? Yeah. We're going to take an x-ray and make sure that the healing is progressing rather well. Keep training, and I will see you at the start line. Hey, Darla, come over here. Hi, what are you doing? She wants to go inside.
Tell
So
me,
funny, and you stay here with me.
why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy?
Darla Bell. Come on, let's go inside.